Let's talk about the Sixers. So last night they draft another, I would call, winning player, non-loser, Johni Broome out of Auburn, who was the SEC Player of the Year, one of the best players of college basketball. Now, we could probably be real about him. He's not a super athlete. There's a reason he fell to the second round. I'm not expecting him to become a superstar, but I do like the philosophy here, which is they're drafting winners. They're drafting non-losers. They're drafting guys that play like dogs instead of guys that dog it on the court. Hugh, I really feel, I know yesterday you were concerned about the presence still of Embiid and the presence of Paul George. Hugh, I feel like the Sixers are changing their culture right in front of our eyes. Are you buying it?
Nah.
Let's say I knew it.
No, because I would love for these young guys to develop. I really would. But I don't think that they're going to be allowed to, especially when you talk about V.J. Edgecombe and his on the offensive side of it, because I feel like we're still going to try. When Joel Embiid is out there, we're going to try to run the offense through Joel Embiid. They're not going to allow these young guys to take over because of, for a bunch of different reasons. Number one is the money thing. The money thing, Joel Embiid's making a ton of money, and if he comes out there and he looks like he's healthy, then what else are you going to do? We've seen this team and how it looks when the offense runs through him. Granted, he gets hurt, but we've seen that. So that's what they're going to do. So it's going to probably stunt his growth. He's here to be help on the defensive end in the short term.
Well, and he will be in the short term. You know what I think Hugh forgot about yesterday? The weenie scale we tried to explain to you.
The weenie scale.
The scale is tipping. They got more winning kind of players here than losing kind of players now, or at least they're trying to, right? With McCain and Maxey and Edgecombe. I like all of them, and I think they're all going to help change the culture here. And then you bring this kid, and again, I'm not going over the top at a second-round pick. I mean, it's a small chance he becomes something significant. Sometimes they do. I mean, sometimes second-round picks become big players in the NBA, but this guy was a winning player. By the way, he was near the top of Jolly's big board. Is Jolly now the number one basketball guy at WIP? Is that what's going on here? He might be. I mean, he loved this guy.
That gets me turned on.
Yeah, well, I didn't need to hear that, but I did. So look, they got Johni Broome last night. I like that pick. The other thing that is huge from this week is that they avoided Ace Bailey. Have you seen the latest on the Ace Bailey stuff?
I can imagine. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's going.
But
from
he
bad
didn't want to
worse.
go there. Like he said, he didn't want to be in Utah. So what is he doing now?
Well, let's hear from Ace Bailey, as it sounds like a holdout is possible in Utah, where he did not want to go.
Ace, there was a lot of speculation to build up in your draft process. You seem pretty happy to me to be going to Utah. What do you say to people that maybe just don't believe that?
I mean, I can control what I control, so how they feel. But to my team and me, me focusing on the basketball and them doing what they're doing, so it happens.
What?
All right. Well, how about this?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Ready? Yeah. That that sounds like word salad because he doesn't want to say he's not showing
Is
up.
That's the new coin phrase?
Yes.
Word salad.
Are you ready for this? Ace Bailey. So they had another first-round pick, okay? And they were supposed to fly together to Utah.
He didn't make the trip.
He didn't make that trip, okay? If he doesn't show up, Bailey could be holding out from the team. Let's hear Brian Windhorst this morning, ESPN, on the Bailey situation. It certainly sounds like we could be having a draft pick holdout out in Utah of a guy that a lot of people wanted here in Philadelphia.
If he doesn't want to be there and he doesn't show up and this starts to get ugly, do you see the Jazz ultimately giving in?
I do not. I do not think any team in this situation would give in. They have the ultimate position, and I do not see Danny Ainge giving in. And here's the bottom line. The Utah Jazz play in Salt Lake City, and I say this as somebody who lives in the middle of the country. They cannot worry about whether a player wants to be in Salt Lake City or whether he loves the fit on their roster. They have to draft and develop the most talented players they can. That is why they took him, despite him not working out, and they will absolutely not budge on this. And eventually Ace Bailey is going to be a Utah Jazz. We'll just see how long it takes for him and his representation to figure that out.
So there was another report yesterday that he apparently told you, one of the teams drafted in the top 5, do not pick me, otherwise I won't show up. Now, I don't know if that was Utah. I don't know if it was the Sixers. I don't know what it was. But could you imagine if this was here? I mean, we know he didn't want to be here, but I mean, it was pretty clear he didn't want to be a Sixer. Could you imagine the reaction in this city if this kid came here and then refused to show up?
Oh, no, they would have hated him.
It'd be a disaster.
No question about it. I'm curious now, Joe. I'm not as mad at him as everybody else is, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, you're a real Ace Bailey guy. You became one.
And
Elliott.
No, because he obviously has an agenda.
Clearly.
He has something that he feels strongly about how this is going to play out or where he wants to be. I want to see what that is. I'm not ready to condemn him now. The way that he's went about it is unorthodox. No question about that. But we don't. I wonder how he feels. I wonder how this is going to end for him. Because the bottom line is this: he wants to go somewhere where he can be a star, so he can get the rookie max. Right? He wants to get that $200 million deal. Mm-hmm. So
well, now if you make Rookie of the Year, all pro teams, you have a higher scale of salary. Like awards lead to more money.
Yes. So I want to see where number one, where he wants to go, because he seems like he's going to be a whole problem. Sounds like he got money in the bank, like he chilling. And I want to see how the future. But this is the long game. This is not. We're looking at it in the short term. He's obviously getting bad advice, or he's crazy like a fox.
He might either, whatever becomes his career is his own thing. I just am so glad the Sixers avoided this. This was a train wreck waiting to happen.
But aren't you curious to see how this is going to play out?
Because I watch it from afar, but not here.
Well, but yeah, that part. Yeah, that part.
We're changing the culture here. You wanted another weenie. We wanted to change the culture.
I don't want the weenie. That just sounded bad. But you know what I mean.
What did you just do?
I would have rolled him until he told me no. I don't want a weenie, but I'm want to see what's going to happen.
I figured out why.
I want to lather Vaseline on me. You're not curious.
Of course, I'm curious
to see how this goes. Not here.
Yeah, not here because I want winners, and he's a loser.
Sounds like you were still curious about the weenie.
I
don't want the weenie.
It's a problem. I figured out why you've become an Ace Bailey guy.
I'm not an Ace Bailey guy.
Because you're kindred spirits. You said
what you mean? I'm difficult?
Well, no, yeah, but a few minutes ago,
I am not difficult.
A few minutes ago, what did you say? He has an agenda.
I have an agenda, but I don't have a difficult agenda.
Well,
I just want to be childish and eat gummies. That's it.
Yeah, that is your agenda.
And talk to the people.
You're doing a great job.
Exactly.
I mean, you're nailing that one.
Yeah. I'm in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, you really are.
So I mean, I wake up every morning and I enjoy immensely what I do.
So I know you're not buying it. I do believe the Sixers have shown us they're trying to change their culture, and I think it's going to work.
I think they are, Joe, but I don't think that with the way that this team is hamstrung by the contracts that they have, that you're going to get what you want, because you have Joel Embiid is still here, and he still commands, even though he's probably not healthy, a certain amount of respect that even the young guys are going to have, they're going to have to defer to him.
And listen,
that's all.
Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm trying to run the clock out on the Georges and Embiids, and I'm trying to turn this thing over to guys that have the right head on their shoulders. And I thought that pick last night, there was another winning player in college basketball, shows they're not going just the upside guy. They're not going just the ceiling guy. They're going for the right culture fits, which they haven't had here in a long time.